No.
Everybody.
That's all cool. So we're going to do a little balance on joy. As you know, the whole COVID thing stressing everyone out. We're both really luckily, as you know, I know my clients really well, and joy is in an area where there have been no cases at this stage. It is not one of the hot spots. There's been no one in my few suburbs that have been found. You know, it's sort of like we are in two really, really low risk areas. So, and I know anyone can get it, and you know, the bugs are out there waiting to destroy us. But
They're not going to get me.
In our little worlds, it's just not prevalent at the moment. In Queensland alone, we've just got on 1,000 cases. As you know, about 95% of them are asymptomatic. The biggest hotspots are the Gold Coast, up in Cairns, the areas in central Brisbane City. You know, it's not out here in the burbs, it's not in the small towns at this point. So we're in a pretty lucky position at this stage. So we're going to, but still, I'm sure the same around the world. There's a lot of confusion in Australia about what the rules are. And as you know, the rules were changed for us over Easter. So things that you were allowed to do on Easter Thursday, you weren't allowed to do over the weekend. So people were getting fined for things that really 24 hours earlier they had. The police commissioner has said they're allowed to come in and say, hey, hang on, I thought it was this. And of course, there's a lot of people getting in trouble for doing things that one day they're allowed to do and the next they're not. And now...
A lot of the time, a lot of the things you can do, but it is advised not to. But it doesn't say you can't, so therefore you shouldn't be fined for it.
Yeah. And I don't know whether you're getting it around the world, but we're getting a lot of, on our Facebook pages, the people who just want to be dobbers, the people who are telling everyone what to do. And, you know, it just feels really angry and nasty. And
we've had an entire totally of 61 or 63 people in total died in Australia from coronavirus.
Yeah, from the COVID-19.
Sweet bugger all. We get more suicides than that most days.
Yeah, and they've nearly all come from overseas.
Yes.
No, that's not true. They've all come from overseas on the boats or on the planes is what I meant there. So it's sort of, you know, it's interesting. But what it can do when we're feeling frustrated and angry, it can mess with your energy fields, and that can mess with everything.
Well, my energy levels are messed up because I think it's very unfair, and because I think it says you can shop. Does that mean you can pay your bills or you can't?
Of course you can.
Yeah, well, of course you can, and I pay my bills. But I don't think I saw any specific thing that says you can pay your bills. No, it's so unclear. I know I can buy groceries, and then today they say in the paper, some people are taking advantage of this and going shopping every day. Some people go shopping every day, and they always have, or they wouldn't need to have food airlifted to them the day after there's a flood or a cyclone. I'd be right for a fortnight because I always have a cupboard full of staples.
Yeah. Just going to move some of your lymph.
I'll do that. God help us, my armpits.
Yeah.
Especially, obviously, my right one.
The right one.
My right arm is the worst part of me.
Yeah.
Which is, you would think your tit would be, but not.
Well, with the lymph nodes, because it was 3 lymph nodes removed on the left?
I think it was 2.
Okay.
And they were both clear.
Yeah. But it means you've got less detoxing going down that side of the body now.
How many,
so your body will
how many
store...
lymph nodes did you have?
I don't know, is it 19 or 20? It's, you know, it's...
Oh, I thought
it's like a chunk of them.
I thought you might have 40 or 50.
Well, it's a lot. You know, it's...
So I was wondering...
Oh, I'm just a bit, yeah.
What?
Oh, no, I was just visually trying to visualise. I was looking around in my magical room for a lymphatic drainage poster, but I think I probably got rid of it when we shifted clinics.
And these things are not the most comfortable things to wear. They impede your breathing.
Breathing's a good thing. I'm going to move the lymph in around under the rib cages. A bit tender in there.
Why is that?
Well, that's all to do with your, like it's in underneath his, can be around the small intestines, but it can be anything to do with breathing, the diaphragm. How has your breathing been lately?
Oh, well, I'm not good at walking up hills. And when I talk a hill, I mean a gentle incline, a very gentle incline.
Yeah.
I think the longest walk I've had in the last week or so was from Paris Street to Mixed Nuts.
Did you find your yoga online yet?
No, but I know that. Oh, she does it at 9:30 in the morning. Do you think I looked?
It's like you need a reminder.
I don't need anything at 9:30 in the morning except stay in bed or get up and do a crossword puzzle. Ooh, I got a miserable gut, haven't I?
Where was it sore? The whole way down there? Okay.
No, I'd say just about all the way around.
Okay.
I don't know why, and I didn't.
Not constipated or diarrhea?
No,
And do you feel bloated?
I've got health. You look at me, you can see I'm bloody bloated. But then
Because you're not doing your usual exercise, have you managed to maintain your weight through this, or have you put on any or lost any?
I can't remember what I was before Christmas, but I'm somewhere between 71 and 72 at present.
Okay.
But I can't remember if I was that before Christmas or not.
Okay.
I think that I went on a detox and got down a fair bit, but I can't remember when it was before Christmas, but I can't remember when I finished that.
Yeah, right.
But I did it mainly because I figured that I'd put on weight on Christmas, and at least if I put on some weight over Christmas, I was better off to
Having lost some weight first.
start from a lower point.
It's always my thinking.
But certainly I've probably not done the... Some days you just haven't got the energy to, say, chew an apple. But you can eat a bowl of yogurt. I did have a few weeks that were pretty vicious there. Which of your nasty little things are in there? Oh,
No, that's your pants. I was sort of seeing what it
oh,
was.
the buckles.
It's the buckle on your pants. I thought you might have lost a necklace down in there or something.
My necklaces aren't big enough to go around my guts, girlie.
I have occasionally had a necklace break on me, and it's ended up in
They usually end up in your bra.
From this angle, it could go anywhere.
Ah.
But in Bowie, where she lives, in Bowie, people are
Oh,
generally being good.
What?
Nice to each other, kind to each other.
Oh, we always talk, we always bow to each other or give each other a pretend hug or from 1.5 metres away. Or yell at them across 3 aisles.
Oh, now is it okay for me down through the centre here? Is there any sore spots there?
No. Well, every time you touch that, it's always sore.
Okay.
Since time immemorial.
Okay. It's a whole bunch of little lymph nodes either side of the sternum.
Oh, you can move
And
them
same
down.
in underneath here. Now,
Hang
once
on.
again, let me know how much pressure I can put on. Is that okay?
Yes.
That sends lymph to and from the lungs.
Oh, good. That's not the part that hurts.
Yeah.
My ribs aren't sore, and that to me feels like you're playing with my ribs.
Yeah, it is. So the lymphatic points are actually on the
Whatever
ribs.
this little bit here,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure which movements, but you get,
Tendinitis or bursitis or something in there.
oh, well, I thought it was in the muscles that was here that you take out and use in a stew, you know. without any cannibalistic tendencies. But they certainly are in better nick than say these are miserable things below the wrist. They would look chook shells. You can encourage those lymph nodes that need to do more to the lungs. My lungs certainly need lots of encouragement. Is that something I can self-stimulate?
Yeah, definitely.
And show me how later.
Yeah. Well, being in the sauna stimulates the lymph.
God, I haven't worked out how to say in that more than about 11 minutes.
Okay. And then you get too hot?
Yes.
Yep, okay, cool. No, 11 minutes is good, just gently, gently. Like I said, you can have a fan in front of you so you're cooling your
I told
head.
you needed to have one first.
Oh.
And I really don't want a fan. I think I'll just have to get one of my swishy ones.
Oh, yeah, swishy one is good.
But we've got enough. We don't need anything else in the lounge room to trip over. I'll hit your toes on.
She's got a John the Baptist sauna, so it's one of the ones that zips up and then your head pokes out the top and your little arms can poke out some little... So it means that she can sit there and have a sauna.
They didn't take John the Baptist's arms off when they brought his head on a plate.
Well, that's my description.
Carry on up the Khyber, they had somebody's head on a plate too, didn't they?
Don't know that one.
Oh, it's one of the funniest Carry On movies. It was so stupid.
Now these little spots in here are also lymph spots for the lungs and the brain.
Did you need this thing off?
No. No, I'm
My
just doing
brain.
it gently.
I can't believe that even though I can't remember the names of things, I missed out 2 words in the crossword puzzle, and one of them was items or something, and the answer was articles. And I knew that I knew what it was, and I went through animals and all sorts of things, but I checked it this morning and it was articles, and I think, now why the hell couldn't you have got that? Whereas I got every word except one, I think, in the cryptic crosswords out, and that was a word I'd never heard of anyway, and they probably made up. And I think I might have got another one wrong when I said unknit, and it should have been unknot.
Unknit, unknot. Oh, yeah.
And I live in horror when I go downtown because you're not
Are
supposed to.
they sore? They're okay?
They are today.
There's some master lymph points.
Well, any lymph nodes that you make behave, tell them.
Nice.
And you can tell me something more about the doing it on your tits to make your lymph nodes work better too, because I'm pretty certain the physiotherapist at PA said that I did it wrong, though she clearly knew the technique. So I want you to...
The Bowen technique?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think she said I did it too fast or too... So you'll need to give me a rehash of that one as well, please.
Okay. Yep. I mean, because the actual Bowen technique move is about but a lay person doesn't get the whole concept of it. So the whole concept of Bowen technique moves are to have your fingers on a spot, and then without taking your hand off the body, you're rolling over the muscle and then back over the muscle. So their fingers are on the same bit of muscle, but you're rolling across the spindle cells of the muscle. That's the technique.
How the hell do you do that if you tit when you...
Exactly.
Okay, anyway, you can write.
Yes.
You can show me later. Rehash it.
Yes.
If this shoulder is...
The worst one.
Yes. Sometimes I'm not sure that my elbow doesn't give me a bit of curry at night too. Sometimes you just know that you can't sleep, but you're also too tired to...
Hold your thumb and pinky together. No.
And I'm sick
And
of
these
dropping
two.
things as well.
And hold. They're trying. There's actually not bad energy in there, just not optimal.
Look, all of me tries, believe me. I even try other people.
Very trying indeed.
I'm glad they had the common sense to decide to send the kids back to school.
Yeah, so once again, not sure what they're doing around the world, but in Queensland only?
I thought it was Australia.
Maybe
Morrison,
Australia.
I'm sure I saw Scott Morrison.
Yeah, right. So
encouraging
ScoMo
everybody.
saying pretty much essential workers, send your kids to school so that you can work and bring in an
I think he
income.
wanted everybody to send their kids to
No,
school.
no. He said essential workers, if they needed to send their kids to school, they're allowed to.
It didn't come over like that to me. I thought they were all going back. And how about all the people like my daughter-in-law, who is a teacher? Can she take her kid to school? Because David is
Of course
studying.
she can.
Right. Well, but none of that is
Because
made...
no, it's simple. It is simple. If you can stay at home and look after your kids and teach them, do it. If you can't, send them to school.
Well, I reckon most people and their children don't deserve to be taught by their parents. I've got nothing against parents, I've got nothing against kids, but
It's not that complicated. If you can send them to school.
I think it's cruel to make them parents try and teach them. When
Some parents are more fearful of their kids going to school, even though medical advice is saying that kids are actually low vulnerability and it's safe enough for them to go to school. So some parents are choosing to keep them at home. I know a lot of people who are choosing to keep kids at home, even though the medical advice isn't saying to do that.
someone who may or may not be my daughter, and who is a teacher and has been a head teacher and also the head of half a dozen daycare centres at the same time, got the lessons for a 5-year-old for the week. And she was horrified and had hissy fits and went into tears and all sorts of other things because they were impossible to follow. So you imagine if you're someone that did bloody grade 6 or something, and there's plenty of people out there, parents who haven't got, and if you're not a teacher, well shit, if that was a teacher that had the problem, you imagine what the other poor sods are doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not talking about it from a point of view of children should go to school. I'm from a point of view children shouldn't be homeschooled. If they've got to stay at home, leave them be. Maybe you can read with them, you read them stories.
And
I'll
I'm
pick
sure
it
once
up.
again, the younger grades, it doesn't matter. But if kids want to finish year 10, 11, 12, they've got to get through the work or they're not going to get their certificates.
Earlier in the year they said everyone in grade 12 was going to get their certificates, didn't they? Did they read it?
Oh, I've got no idea. I don't have a year 12 kid. I haven't been paying attention to it
They said
because I've been thinking the whole thing's stupid.
They said that all of the university people and all of the grade people weren't going to fail their years this year because they couldn't do their exams. And I'm thinking, oh, that's interesting. If I was a kid, I'd probably say, whoopee-doo, I'll go down and play in the park. And you're not allowed to play in the park
No, they're all
anymore.
shut.
But you can read books or play Pokemon or whatever people play these days. And you think, right, you know, so if people have then now had their 6 or 8 weeks off and not doing any study because they were told that they weren't allowed, that they couldn't fail this year, and now they're saying go back to school. Now is that reneged and you have to go and catch up again?
I've got no idea. They haven't been given time off. They've probably been choosing not to do their work. If they're year 10, 11, 12, they haven't been given the last 6 weeks off.
They were told they did not have to pass grade 12 to get their results.
Then they can choose not to learn anything for the year, and even if they get to university, they'll be bloody useless because they haven't been training their brain.
I imagine that most of them wouldn't have been doing it, but a lot of them are only there because they're made to be there. You know that.
Well, that's their choice. Kids choose all sorts of stupid things.
That isn't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, first of all, they were told that they wouldn't be penalised for not being able to go to school and not studying And now they're saying go back to school. And how on earth are kids supposed to know or even have
No one gave them the rest of the year off. No one gave them the rest of the year off. That was never said. That was never said. It never said don't do any work for the rest of the year and you'll get your certificate. That was never said. Just because they can't do everything at school in the usual way, and yes, there might not be the same level of, they still have to do their attendance and everything.
No.
And they do. If they were actually logging in, they would know that. They should be logging into their computers. They see their teachers. They have their.
There've been a lot of parents saying that they haven't even got the login equipment, and people like Carmel who.
Well, they're the people who can send their kids to school.
And Carmel can't. Carmel hasn't got a printer out, and she's given all these pages and pages that she's supposed to print out for Sterling to fill in. And she's just one person, probably in the better echelons of having stuff.
Yeah, I don't even think you can buy printers at the moment. They're all out of stock. Printers and little doodads for the computers.
You think that you think I'm being silly when I say it's all a hoax. But do you remember when the year 2000 was coming in? If you had a $2,000 generator, you could probably get one for $8.
Anyway, I have, yeah.
But you could absolutely not buy a generator by the
Yeah.
time of the year 2000 came in. Of course, nothing freaking happened. They didn't need all these generators. Now we've got an entire hospitals full of bloody things for the people that are all going to die of coronavirus, which means that nobody else can get treatment, and no one's getting the disease. So we just got hospital. And half of the nurses aren't being employed because they've been put off from doing the services they usually do. And now their nurses' registration is due. And because they haven't had any work since this thing came in, they're all saying they might be able to afford to renew their registration. And you think, the whole thing sucks. Big time. The confusion. What is that, putting him back in joint?
Yeah, not quite in.
It's a bugger, that little hip, isn't it?
It is. Hold.
Oh!
Sorry.
It's all right. Did I hold?
You did. Looked well. But there was stress in there, no
Oh,
surprise.
bloody hell, there was some stress there. I felt it. There's some pain as well as stress. Or they're in your world, pain and stress equality. Yeah,
They're pretty jolly similar, absolutely.
I don't mind the pattern on your bloody thing that I get to look at, all your dead trees up here. You've got some dead trees going up and some dead trees coming down.
I quite like it. Show you what we're talking about here, peeps. Do. See the light?
The end of the tunnel?
Yeah. So as you can see, we're both confused about all the rules in Australia with the coronavirus rules. I can imagine in countries much, much bigger than Australia, the confusion is probably tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold.
Hey, remember when we were in Beijing and Shanghai? I think both of those cities had a population as big as Australia. Shanghai's was bigger than Australia, and Beijing maybe 1 million less or something.
And Wuhan's not much. It's pretty close.
Well, we didn't go to Wuhan, did we?
No.
Well, weren't we lucky? Even if it was bloody 8 to 9 years ago. Even the stuff that's coming out of China, carrying on and on and on about how they're such uncivilised people that they eat bats. Does that mean they're uncivilised, or that we may not eating one of the delicacies of the world, which might be a bat? I personally would like to eat a bat, but
Part 2 in a sec.